Hey guys, welcome back. This is game 3 of the series I was looking at with MC. Of course, he did take out Stephano 2-0, and I think this is from the Red Bull land actually. So obviously I had to find a new opponent for him, and it is going to be ST.Bomber as the Red Terran. And it is also, like last game, it was on Daybreak, so it is going to be a Protoss versus Terran this time. And I think this is actually going to be in MC's favour a lot, because Protoss versus Terran are really saying that Protoss have the advantage here. Of course, early game the Protoss are well, a bit weak really. But it's when they get those really strong groups of like Archons and Gateway units and Colossus. They do have some pretty good strong timing push as well. You see MC is throwing down an in-base pylon, so no chance of a fast expansion. Well, he could still get a quick one, maybe one gate expo. But obviously it's not going to be a forge fast expand like he's been doing in the previous games. Bomber going for that in-base supply depot so he can start mining again faster or scout with this unit. Of course, not really that much point to wall off versus a Protoss, so they can just get some stalkers and ramp and just shoot your wall while you can't really do much to them, so not a lot of advantage there. Bomber back to mining, not scouting yet, neither player actually. They probably have a bit of an idea what everyone's going to do in this matchup. It's probably unlikely that Bomber's going to cheese, so I think MC is probably going to go for a relatively safe build. MC's probably more likely to be the cheeser in this one actually, but it doesn't look like he will be with that one gate. MC now sending out his scout and Bomber building his barracks. And it's a bit away from the ramp, so it's a safe location really. And we're going to see where the MC goes with this probe. He's not even doesn't seem worried for any proxies or anything at this moment. It's just a couple of double racks or something. And he doesn't really have any reason to be in this sort of matchup at the moment, particularly on this map, which usually leads to more longer macro games. So he is now in the base of the Terran. And is he gonna play any drone harass? Nope. No, maybe. So he's going back for a bit. But he is not going to. So the gateway is just finishing up for MC, and I'm gonna have to say he's probably gonna skip that Zealot. Not a lot of use versus a couple of Marines. Probably go straight to the Stalker as his first attacking unit, and MC is doing a bit of SCV harass, and ooh, quick expansion for our Terran player. And interestingly, MC is not harassing this worker. He could have actually gone down for it, although the Marine is now down. And if MC is going to react to this, he's probably going to find the Terran building a bunker. Of course, if you go down with this one Rax expand, you're going to need the bunker to defend it against any really aggressive Warcade players. MC is actually getting the Zealot, which is kind of interesting. I think that's kind of, maybe he just wanted to spend his minerals. He's getting Warp Gate research immediately, and he is up to 50 Chrono Boost energy, so he could potentially use this for... Well, he's actually Chrono Boosting out some Stalkers, so he might be doing like a 2-Stalker Zealot push or something. Bomber is taking out this supply depot because he's just angry at this enemy supply depot. And the bunker is going up at the choke in good position for it. Of course, it should be easily held any Protoss aggression. Looks like he is just using that Zealot to check if there's anything coming to his base. So he has one Stalker just, looks like he's going to expand. So it's going to be a bit of a macro game. A couple of Marines moving out into the map though. He is keeping one Marine in that bunker, so if there's any units coming in from here, there should be a bit of a warning. And of course when you see the bunker, you don't know quite how many are in it. You can usually tell based on how quick your units are dying, but in this case he seems like he'll be alright. He's taking the watchtower though, and that might make MC a bit worried. He doesn't want to know if the Terran's moving out, and he really wants those watchtowers to see if he is. 2 more racks coming down for the Terran player. As his macro starts to kick in, he's still on 1 gas. MC up to getting his second, and he'll probably get some more once his expansion's up, obviously. And not a lot of attack from either player yet. Probably just be a heavy buy over the Terran realistically, and probably heavy gateway from the Protoss. Probably won't be seeing Stargate from Protoss in these sort of matchups. Sort of really doesn't really work versus Terran these days, except when you got those proxy void rays, and no one really does it anymore. Have the tech lab coming up for the Terran player. It's about 5 minutes in, so it's going to be fairly late upgrades. But I think he's sitting pretty... He's probably seen the... Well, he hasn't seen any of the scouted Protoss side of the map yet, so... It's actually fairly bold for him to get a tech lab around this late. I think he's just assuming that MC is going to have a gentleman's agreement with him and not attack. A couple more gateways going down for MC. Stim now the first upgrade. And we've got pure Marines at the moment, and that's fairly weak actually versus Protoss. Of course, with only a few gateway units, there's nothing pressure you could apply. So Bomber seems to be doing right so far. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts trying to do some meta harass while he gets his economy up. We do have a Robo Bay coming up, so it looks like 3-gate Robo so far, as well as an expansion, which is now complete, and the Terran player is slightly in the lead. The Protoss player should catch up as his extra gateways come online then. Got an additional bunker just in case. This is sort of the timing when the Protoss could be hitting. A 7-minute 4-gate is really late, but you can still do quite a strong one, or a 4 or 5-gate. It's fairly unlikely though, although he's getting his units rallied at the watchtower. Well, not around the watchtower, and he is a proxy pylon. Now this is where he'd sort of be worried of the force field over the bunker attack. But with this many units, it's a bit of pressure. It's not really going to be able to get through here. There's too many Marines, even with force fields. He might take down this bunker, but realistically I don't think he's going to do much damage at all. Takes out one bunker, so that's what, 100 minerals? A couple of units, although he's doing quite well because he's finding a hard position to attack in. And actually, MC doing well, but unfortunately that bunker finishes at just the right time, and then it's going to probably take out a lot of these gateway units. I think MC overcommitting just a bit there. Still keeping the Terran pressured a bit though. Stim is just about finished. The first starport is now coming up, along with the reactor right next to it, so it'll all switch on for the medevacs, the heavy bio units. Of course, what else would we see from a Terran in TVP? And looks like MC's small gateway forces are forced to return home, and MC going for the third. And I like this move. It's pretty. He's got map control, so you can probably get it. He's got to be careful a bit of the medevacs though, but it looks like they're not going to be coming in for quite a bit. The first obs is now out, and that will give him the assurances that he can expand. Twilight Council coming down as well, and it's probably going to be for blink or charge. Might be charge actually versus a stem. Both ideally though, in the end. Still just about 3 racks it looks like. I think that Bomber in this position could probably get another one out, another couple out actually. He is getting an additional command center, so it looks like he wants to counter with his own expansion. He is using his factory to scout. Yep, here we go, couple more barracks coming down. And also some reactors now coming up. MC getting blink first. The armies are really still quite small. It's about 10 minutes in the game. MC's at 2 base saturation, and he's just about getting his third up, so he wants to get another 20 workers ideally. With the mules, the Terran's also at about 2 base saturation, so they're fairly well off at the moment, and they really should start pumping a lot more units. 3 more gateways is going to make it MC can get all the units he wants really quickly, and really nice moving a few stalkers to the back here to look for medevacs. No units down here though, and he's going to realise there's a third very shortly. There's one obs at the front here though, and this one can really see when the army's moving out. A couple of medevacs going out, but this probe fortunately sees it. Unfortunately, it's going to stim to get this one probe, but it was just stimming that one marauder, so don't want to overstim your army for just one probe, obviously. And with these 2 medevacs here, it's really in prime position for him to drop. He did find the proxy pylon, and as we can see, MC has warped in more units up here just in case. He's also got his second army down here, just in case for a double drop. There is some dropships here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bomber just uses these to make it look like he's dropping the third, then go in the main. Although it looks like he's going to connect them, and maybe it's just, yeah, it just looks like he's going to connect the army. The watchtower is held by MC, so he's fairly safe at the moment. He is moving his units away from the back of his base. Still see that MC has vision here from this obs, and is now moving his third command center there. Charge is about halfway done. Twilight Council coming down as well, so we'll probably see some Archons. And we have a 4 dropship drop coming in, and this could do so much damage. He's going in. Unfortunately, MC moved his entire army out of the base, and he's going straight for the Nexus. Oh, this is a great move. The army is not going to make it. MC is definitely going to lose his main Nexus, and although the minerals are almost finished here, it looks like he's taking out... Oh, was that his Templar Archives? And he gets out without any losses, unless this medevac goes down, and it does not. So, amazing move by Bomber. He drops in and bombs that Nexus, and takes out the archives, and MC is going to be forced to rebuild that in the back of his natural. And while the minerals are really depleted up here, it's not so much a big loss. He's lost 2 gases effectively, and that's about 200 gas a minute, and that's a lot. That's a third of his gas production, and that's really what he needs also for his Archons and his upgrades. And he is now chrono boosting out his upgrades, and we see the Ghost Academy is just about finished for Bomber. Where is he hiding that Ghost Academy? It's somewhere in his base. Oh, wait, it's one of these buildings. Well, it doesn't matter. What it means is that Ghost production has now started, and the EMP is going to be preemptive to the Archons and the Templar. Storm is now being researched for MC, and he's getting some Templar out to try and either get their energy up, or turn them into a couple of Archons. He does now have charge and blink, and it looks like MC's just about at 3 base saturation. He lost a bit from this base, but it will catch up once he gets it back. And that's a lot of mules for the Terran player, and he is just about where he wants to be with mules and SCVs as well. Probably get a few more SCVs ideally, but he might just want to put that all into army now actually. +1/+1 for the Terran, and 0 upgrades for MC, and that's kind of a mistake I think for him at this point of the game. He does have double forward, and he was kind of boosting them out, so he'll have +1/+1 at any moment now. And he probably can catch up if he religiously chrono boosts. But Bomber's in a really good position here actually. If he could take out this small army, unfortunately I think with this really good obs placement, he's got obs at all the chokes, he's going to be able to move his army in time. Force fields preventing those zealots from getting in, and if he can take out this entire zealot army, he could get really far ahead in this game. And nice storm there. He made a force field choke and then he stormed. Just 2 Templar here actually, but he's got another storm, and Bomber's really got to be careful about that. And Bomber actually landed his factory here to close off a wall, blinks back, and Bomber runs into a bit of a storm. I think that's the last storm. He goes in, and he is now stemming and attacking and doing a bit of side step. Those zealots are coming in. Unfortunately, a couple of force fields going in, and what he can do, lifts up that so he can undo the wall. A couple of feedbacks destroying his medevacs, and MC is actually cutting up the Terran army really well here. I think the Bomber is going to have to be forced to run away at the moment. He's going to get that Archon and potentially that extra thing. No, runs away, and Bomber is still about 40 supply up. This is similar to what happened in Stephano's game. Stephano was up, but then he started throwing away his army into MC. And MC is now getting his +2/+2, it's halfway done. Of course with those chrono boosts he can catch up really quickly. The Terran has started +3 on his infantry weapons, but he's still on +1 armor, getting +2, it's just about finished. He's getting cloaked for his ghosts, and that's a good move, because MC is keeping these obs in chokes, but he's not keeping one with his army it looks like, so those ghosts could potentially do quite a bit of damage, and there's actually quite a lot of ghosts, about 6 ghosts there. As long as he doesn't get feedback, then he should be alright. Do have a warp prism coming out to supplement MC's army, although it could be used for harassment later in the game. And we do see that this obs has spotted that the Terran is getting his 4th base, and Bomber's in a really good position in this game. So if MC's going to have to play really carefully to come back. Looks like he's getting out more Templar. He's got Templar for drop defense and a lot of extra gateways. 7 gateways actually on production. And Protoss player has so many minerals, not very much gas, and part of that gas problem is that he lost his main, of course. And he's just now sort of to catch up. He could pump that into a lot of zealots, and that's probably what the extra gateways are for. He wants to be able to reinforce really quickly or warp in like a ton from his warp prism. He has 4 zealots and a Templar loaded up into that warp prism actually. Bomber is going in and dancing out of that storm. You see MC has about... nice. Is able to snipe one of those Templar. Unfortunately he gets one of those storms off and loses about 2 ghosts actually in that. He needs to cloak these ghosts. What is he doing? Going in. Unfortunately some zealots coming in the back here, and he is trying to take out the back. Probably deploy it in a second. Battle's going on 2 fronts here. The Terran is about 10 supply up, and his warp prism is forced to run away. It looks like both of them are forcing on this army now. 2 more storms in here. Storms stems forward, and the zealots are going in. Those zealots are charging in so quickly, and the zealots are actually tanking so well at the moment. This Templar's a bit ahead of himself. He's probably going to get killed in a second. Although the units are just focusing on those units. The warp prism is still sort of just lagging around, and he's going to lose this Archon unfortunately. MC about 30 supply down in this game, although he is up to +2/+2. +3 is weapons, as almost mentioned, the Terran, and his +3 armor is about 50% complete. Unfortunately, Protoss armor and weapons is about 50% complete as well, and with chrono boost he can catch up if he keeps. There he goes, chrono boosting. And these Archons are going to become really aggravating for the Terran player. Blinks in to take over a medevac that was running away from this retreating army. These zealots are tanking so efficiently. These Archons are going to be forced to run away though. He doesn't want to get killed, although we could have a storm coming in. A storm, nice storm. Oh, bad move by the Terran player there. He walks all in the storm, and in the meantime we do see some warp ins by the warp prism in the back. He has some storms here as well. The Terran army got killed by so many storms, that was really ugly, and that's what the Terran player didn't need to happen. His +3 armor and +3 weapons are now finished, but almost the Protoss is caught up, and he had a bit of a lead there. Nice EMP on that Templar, could have got this big group of units, forced to retreat. Also a bit of a drop play with the Warp Prism units. Now the Protoss is about even with the Terran now, and he was forced the other base to withdraw. He still has a couple of Zealots and a Templar here. Now it looks like he's going to lose his SCVs, so they could go the SCV straight to there and just try and kill that Templar. MC's units now coming around from the side trying to get back in. More warp-ins from the Warp Prism, and if he stormed all that, that'd be great. Unfortunately he's decided to waste it on the army, which is never a waste really. The Zealots are forced to dance around these medevacs while they're getting grabbed for the units. But that leaves this base completely undefended, and they're coming in from behind, and they are probably going to kill about 16 SCVs here. We've got 2 Vikings, but they're not doing anything, and there's up to about 6 Archons, as well as a lot of Charge Lot Zealots that have +3/+3, and these units are so difficult to kill. +3 Zealots last forever. The charge, they just are never dying, and continuing to fight. A lot of Archons in the back here at MC's base. Of course, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to warp in at the moment. Oh, he does up here with his Warp Prism. You'll probably say that for later though. The Protoss has now taken a 40 supply lead in those little skirmishes, and the shields recharging on his units. And their +3 armor and +3 attack, they're going to be so deadly with the Terran. The Terran has the same, but what he's lost is the medevacs, and that's the equivalent of having no shields on your Protoss units. They're just going to... Every time they battle, the Protoss units are gonna... Some of them will die, some of them will recharge. But the Terran has seemed to have lost most of his medevacs. He's got 4 back fresh ones now with almost no energy. But they're just not going to be enough to heal his entire army, and he's still 40 supply down. More Zealots coming into the third, joining up with a couple of Archons. That's actually a lot of Zealots. A couple of Archons supporting, and 2 Archons going forwards, which storms them, and turns into Archons, but the units, he only moved a few up. We have a couple of Stalkers fighting the third for the Terran, and that's going to force him to lift up eventually. While the main army is now just going into that choke, and he is in the choke, but his Zealots just getting in and not dying. They keep going in and just supporting these Archons, which have almost no HP actually. Those Archons still do quite a bit of damage. One has 11, the other has got 2 kills. More Charge Lots coming in from the north in this warp location. Forced to move another base, and he's actually just starving his opponent of minerals at the moment, as you can see. He's up about twice the supply. Forced to mass repair his building. He's got no minerals, basically no gas, and MC has got about 1,000 of each. He's got quite a lot of gateways to warp in, but he keeps not being able, just was able to spend his money then with a massive warp in round. But he's got 4 bases up and running, which are in no danger. He's got, looks like he's got Templar at each of his base, just for those drops, and he's just continuing to pressure that Terran. He's unable to get his gases up at his third, and this army is becoming larger and larger. Zealots and Archons almost exclusively. We have some more Templar coming in. A couple of Stalkers just dealing with these liftoffs. There's like 2 Archons going forward, and they don't actually have enough to storm. So if he EMPs these, it'll be a complete waste. And these ones are the ones that can storm. So he's kind of coming in, and I think this is going to be the game ender. A couple of EMPs going off. Those Archons are pushing forward, those as well as those Zealots. SCVs coming in to help the battle, and Bomber GG's. So really strong play by our Protoss player. Again, similar to the Zerg games, he just played really defensively, got what he wanted, upgrades and units, and just held his bases, kept starving and pushing his opponent, preventing them from getting the units they want and the economy they want. So that's actually 3-4-3 for MC, so really well played by him. Thanks for watching guys, and see you later.